972-235-5555. Yes, get ready to ask your question related to immigration and naturalization or anything related to family law, corporate or civil matters. Call 972-235-5555. That's the number in the studio. For appointments, do call their front desk at 972-361-0606, their website ahluwalialaw.com or yourdesilawyer.com. With that, would like to welcome the star of the hour. Good morning to you, Pallavi. Very cool morning, I know. How are you doing?
Yes, good morning to you. Glad to be here with your business matters. We're here every Wednesday and glad to take questions on the air and to interact with our wonderful, vibrant, involved community who keeps up with what's going on and has questions on different issues. So, one thing, the weather was a little, the snow in the morning was beautiful, but I think it's turned now to rain, so not enjoying that as much as a morning snow. Have an announcement to make, and this is for that much awaited EAD, and I know there are a lot of people who have already received the updates. We're getting emails, we're getting calls, and this is the H4 related EAD, and the day that people can start filing. This would be 26th of May, so it's around the corner, it's coming up, and this is something that's good for everyone, so the H4s will not be forced to go through the H1B process, given the fact that the quota is limited and all of that. I think that is going to greatly even relieve the quota and better the chances of the people that are qualified for the H1Bs to make it through the quota. Of course, the way that the EAD would be filed would be quite different from how people regularly file it. There is going to be a decent amount of documents of evidence that goes towards the bona fides of the spousal relationship besides the other proof that is required to be eligible for this. So I know that I have calls that are already coming in. I'll start taking them on the air.
All right, going to our first caller, Phanesia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please. Phanesia Radio, can you hear us? I guess not. I would really request you to call us back, 972-235-5555. That's the number in the studio. Going to our next caller, Phanesia Radio. You are live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hi, my question is, we filed for unmarried sons and daughters, I-130, in 2008, and even though my daughter is here, but they sent the file to NVC.
Okay.
And so now we received a letter from NVC saying that we need to file DS-260 for the processing. Now we want it to bring it to Dallas. What should we do?
Okay, so a couple things here. The date on the visa bulletin has not reached your date. So what the NVC does is that it starts the process off a bit earlier, given the steady progress of the visa bulletin. It will get to your date soon. So though she's eligible to file for an adjustment of status once that date gets current, what you'll have to do is to wait until the date gets current for her to be able to use the adjustment of status. So she is maintaining lawful status here.
Yeah. So, but they asked us to file DS-260
yes, the reason,
for the processing. So what should we do?
So I mean, at this point you could either ignore it, or if you want to start off the process and do it consular processing, you could proceed with it. But the ability to be able to file an adjustment would only arise once those dates are current in the country, and that she is eligible for an adjustment, which means that she's not been out of status for over 180 days. So there are a couple of requirements for meeting the adjustment in Dallas or wherever you are at this point, wherever in the United States. But in terms of the NVC, you could kind of ignore that or inform the NVC that the beneficiary is here in legal status and seeks to file for an adjustment of status when the date gets current.
Okay, thank you so much.
All the best.
All right, thank you so much. 972-235-5555, number in the studio. We do have Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices in the studio to answer all your legal questions. Going to our next caller, Phanesia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yes, hi. I was wondering what would be the processing time for I-765?
Are you talking about the H4 EAD?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if the person is already on an H4 and the processing time should be 90 days, they still will be bound to the 90 days. However, if somebody's, and I'm saying this more generically, it may not apply to you, but if somebody is going to be filing for a change to an H4, then they have to await for that H4 to be approved before they start touching and processing the EAD and start the 90-day clock.
Oh, okay. So in that case, I have a follow-up question.
Go ahead, please.
So my wife is on F1 status right now, almost wrapping her up with her 1 year.
Okay.
So she is eligible for CPT. So, but this is coming in May 26, so it's kind of falling in the line of summer internships.
Okay.
So
you'll have
we were
to
thinking,
first.
should we go ahead and file for F1 to H4 status change now? And when the date 26 May comes up, can we do a concurrent filing for H4 EAD there? Or should we stay on the F1 and file a CPT-based EAD whenever when she gets a job?
Okay, so the F1 CPT, OPT are going to be your options to exercise, and if she's wanting to complete her degree and then later on get the OPT, I don't know if she's doing STEM, she gets 29 months of employment. And now, just the only thought that I have is that if you are eligible, then her EAD is going to be given to her no matter what, along with your extensions on your H1B. Okay,
right.
So the point here is your suggestion about filing for a change of status to an H4 is fine. You'll have to indicate when she needs to move to the H4, right? And that will obviously be at the end of the semester. Then upon that approval of the H4, then she'll be eligible to file for the EAD. The government is accepting after 26th of May the filings of the EAD along with the H4 change. However, they will not process it till the H4 is processed and approved.
So I guess what you're saying is that it's okay. So if we don't get our H4 approval by May 26, it's okay to file H4 I-765 indicating that H4 is in process?
Yes, you could, but it would not start to get processed unless the H4 is approved. But of course, you can get that in queue and you can get that lined up.
And you said up to 90 days would be the processing time?
Correct.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All the best.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much. Moving on to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Would request you to lower the volume of your radio, please. Okay, go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, I just want to know, like, if you're applying for someone for K1, I just wonder how long the procedure will take, and is there any problem, like, she been, like we're applying for someone that's been, like, 2-time rejected. So is it K1 have a problem for her or no?
Okay, so are we, she has been pending on, is it the visa in which an I-130 has been applied for her? Correct? Or are we talking about the fiancé visa? And that's the K1 fiancé, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what is disqualifying this application every time?
I mean, like she's been rejected for the other reason. It's not the K1 the first time we applying, but before, like, she applied for just the visa, you know, getting a
so
like
you're talking
American
about
visa,
yeah, I
and she
know.
been
Okay.
like
it. The
denied
visitor
like
visa.
2 times. So if we apply K1 now, is there any problem for her or no?
No. So the point
right?
here, yes.
Okay.
So you have to be able to prove that the K1 is given to her and it's valid. That she is engaged to a U.S. citizen, that the U.S. citizen has visited her in the last 2 years, right? And they have an ongoing relationship. So those are important prongs to prove the K1. And the fact that she got the visitor visa denied has no bearing on this, because this is a different prong by which she would be eligible.
Oh, okay. And then do you guys have like a free consultation?
You'll have to call the office and go over the consultation policy with the office.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
I do have the number for their front desk. Well, it is 972-361-0606, and you can log on to ahluwalialaw.com to find out about their physical address and all the other details. You can also log on to yourdesilawyer.com. With that, going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You are live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hi, this is Srini.
Yeah, go ahead, Srini. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm having a question regarding I-130, I-485 concurrent processing.
Okay.
So what is the processing time for this in Texas?
So it's taking roughly about 12 to 13 months. So is this a spousal-based case? Is it a parent case? And they should all be treated equally, but I'm seeing that the parents are pending for a little bit longer for some reason.
Okay.
So, yes.
This is marriage-based.
Marriage-based filing. Okay, so U.S. citizen filing for their spouse.
Right.
About the processing time of a year, give or take.
Okay.
All right?
Thank
All
you.
the best.
All right, thank you so much. Once again, the number in the studio, 972-235-5555. For the listeners who are tuning in just now, this is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. And you can call at this point of time to find answers to your legal question. Any question related to immigration and naturalization or anything related to family law, corporate or civil matters. With that, going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hi, how are you, Pallavi Ahluwalia?
Very well. How are you?
Okay, fine. I have a question, attorney, that my wife is a U.S. citizen and she's filing for her sister.
Okay.
And in the meantime, her sister, she in this country legally with the visitor's visa. So do you think that as a U.S. citizen, we can change her status?
No.
I mean, she's
No, so the waiting time for the sibling category is about 12 to 13 years, and you cannot change status till that category is not current. Okay, so her entry as a visitor visa, and she has to return by the time her I-94 expires. There is no option for her to adjust to the sibling-based category and get that approved within the time that her I-94 is valid. So and she'll have to maintain her status by going out and coming back in after a required period of stay outside, which is at least over 6 months.
okay. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. All the best to you. Moving to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You are live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
या मुझे सवाल ये था कि मैं ग्रीन कार्ड होल्डर हूँ और मुझे 2014 में मिला है और मैं 15 दिन के बाद कनाडा ट्रैवल किया हूँ और उसके बाद मैं 5 महीने के बाद दोबारा यूएसए आया और दैट इज अबाउट लाइक अक्टूबर नवंबर और 2 महीने के बाद मैं फिर पाकिस्तान गया हूँ और तकरीबन 5 महीने के बाद मैं वापस आया तो ये जो 6 महीने का बाहर है वो ईयरली है या होल पूरे 5 साल के अंदर है
एक स्ट्रेच में है
वो वर्कआउट होता है
राइट तो ये एक स्ट्रेच में है कि अगर आप जाएं कंट्री से बाहर और 5-6 महीने के अंदर वापस आ जाएं तो दैट विल नॉट बी हेल्ड अगेंस्ट यू क्योंकि आपका टोटल टाइम जो नेचुरलाइजेशन के लिए काउंट करेगा वो लास्ट 5 इयर्स में काउंट करेगा जिसमें आपको कोई स्टे आउटसाइड ऑफ द कंट्री फॉर ओवर 6 months will haunt you. So it's not within a year, it's in one stretch.
अच्छा विदिन ईयर इज वन वो अब मैं 4-5 महीना रहता हूँ और फिर दोबारा 2 महीना रह के वापस कनाडा जाता हूँ इट डजंट मैटर राइट
नो एज लॉन्ग एज आप मेंटेन करें पर आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि आपका क्वालिफिकेशन नहीं बनेगा अगर आप 2-2 महीने एक कंट्री में रह रहे हैं तो आपकी एडिशन 2.5 years की नहीं होगी तो आपको एट अ स्ट्रेच यहाँ पे रहना पड़ेगा इफ यू वांट एलिजिबिलिटी आफ्टर 5 years. Okay, so out of the 60 months of residence, you need 30 months of physical presence in the country. So the 2 months will not assist you. You're not violating the, leaving the country and staying out for over 180 days. That's fine. But you're not being able to accumulate your time as a resident in the country, which is required for you to be eligible.
वो सिर्फ मुझे सिटीजनशिप के लिए प्रॉब्लम होगा वरना तो आई एम ओके विद दैट
हाँ जी बिल्कुल
ठीक थैंक यू वेरी मच
ऑल द बेस्ट
Thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, Fun Asia Radio. You're live on the air. Request you to please turn off your radio and then ask your question.
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Good morning, ma'am. Actually, I came US is a 4.5 years, almost 5 years in June. My wife's status is I-140 is October.
Okay.
I am a H4 dependent.
Okay.
I eligible to one
Yes.
the EAD H4 EAD.
Yes, you will be. So the EAD will start out.
May 20.
Yes, May 26th. But yes, you sound to be eligible
One
if you
more
have an
thing, ma'am.
I-140 approval.
Can I work only IT related work or any hard
no.
job or any?
No, any job that you get is fine. It's
Yeah,
not
it's,
related to it.
any
It's not
job,
an
right?
H-1B visa, right?
Yeah, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question. Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Can you hear us? I guess not. Well, call us back. 972-235-5555. That's the number in the studio. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yes, hi, I have a question regarding I-94.
I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Excuse me, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. We are not able to hear you very good, actually. Your voice is breaking. We can't hear you very well. I would really want you to call us back. 972-235-5555. That's the number in the studio. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. My question was, I'm on an H-1B and my mom has already filed for, she's a citizen, she's filed for a daughter, married daughter in 2009.
Okay.
So would there be a possibility for any status adjustment or?
No, you'll have to maintain your status. The processing time for the family-based third category, which is married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens, is January 22nd of 2004 for India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all those countries. So at this point, the adjustment of status is not possible. The date has to be current for you to be eligible for an adjustment.
So generally, what is the time frame, ma'am?
The
It
time,
keeps going back and forth. I've seen it come to 2005, go to 4.
yes, so it depends
does
on the
that happen?
usage. Yes, it does depend on the usage. And if it is that it's overused, then they kind of roll the numbers back, and that's called a retrogression. So now for
Okay,
this,
there's
for
no way to premium it or
No.
just a question I don't know, but thought I'd ask.
Yeah, no, there is not any option. This is visa number
Okay,
availability.
all
and
right.
It's not available.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate it.
All the best.
All right. Good luck to you. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hi. Actually, I have an H-1 visa and I've been out of status for a while. So, what happens if I go to the country, go out of the country, back to India, come back on H-4? Does that do they ask for pay stubs if I go for status at that time?
Yeah, so depending on how long you've been out of status, it should be for under 180 days. And it is within their realm to ask you for that, for those pay stubs and the fact that you've maintained status. So if you haven't, you'll have to just check to see how long you haven't had pay stubs.
It's less. It's about a month, not more than that.
Okay, yeah, then you should be okay. You should be fine to
So
travel.
even if now I go for an H-1 transfer, will that work?
The H1's transfer within the country would be a little harder to do. What you'll have to do is, if you do not have current pay stubs, then within usually a month, you should be at the borderline of being okay. It's about 2 weeks if your pay stubs were bi-weekly. Then you need, the pay stub to be current by about 2 weeks back. However, just at about a month, it may be okay for you to go ahead and file for a transfer if that happens. The worst case scenario in that case would be for you to be sent to consular processing if that were to happen, and they were to discover that you have lost a position, your previous job, and the previous company has withdrawn your H-1B. Now, if it is that you accumulate more time, go past this month, then you're going to have a harder time to even try to do it in the country. Then it's clearly, I would recommend a consular processing.
Okay, and what if I go for H-1 transfer, there comes an RFE, even then, if I go back to countries, that a possibility
Yes,
that I go out of the
absolutely.
country and then come
Absolutely.
back on
Right.
H4 and
Right.
go for change of status?
Correct. Yes.
That is a possibility.
Correct.
So my H1 is not revoked even if my H1 transfer is not approved.
No, so the H-1B withdrawal or revocation from the previous employer depends on that employer. So if they've already informed the government and they have that in their records that you have lost your job, then to do a change in the country of employers will be a little difficult, and you will be sent to consular processing.
Okay.
All right? All the
Thank you.
best.
All right, all the best to you. Last few minutes left before we wind up the segment. Going to our probably the last call. I'm thinking. Let's see. Panisha Radio, you're
Hi,
live on
good
the air.
morning.
Go ahead.
I have a question. I'm a
Yeah.
U.S. citizen and I filed for my mother last year in 2013, October. And she got approved and everything. And then finally they called her for an interview. She went interview last month in Islamabad and they said that she was overstayed. And they gave her a letter. They said they cannot issue visa because of overstayed. And they said she cannot travel until 2022. So is any way we can do anything for her? Or they said on the letter they said she can be eligible for a waiver. So I have a question if we can do that, or
Yes.
no way that we can file
No.
for her again, or
Right, you can. She will be eligible for a waiver. So how long had she overstayed? So this seems like it's over a year, right? She was here in the country.
Yeah, they said it's over a year, it's like a 365 days, and I don't know how they find out because she traveled to the United States. I think almost 10 times she came in, and and she left. But last time when she came in 2012, and they said she was overstayed 365. And finally, she got an interview and everything, and they said we cannot issue a letter. So
Yeah, so I think
so that's why
Yeah, the first thing that you have to find out is if that 365-day mark is accurate or not. If you're saying that she's been leaving and her passport shows that, then it could be contested. I know Meetu's asking me to wrap up. If you want to hold on so that I can finish this off the air, just kindly do hold.
Let's do that. Please hold the line while we say bye to Pallavi for now and see her next Wednesday same time.
Yes, I look forward to being back.
All right. Thank you so much.